Guys, we have done so many mock coding interviews on this channel and all the videos have done so well because this is as real as it gets. You get to know the do's and the don'ts of the interviews. You get to experience the entire process with me. But a lot of you noticed that I have interviewed only YouTubers till now. Honestly, I did not know how to select the candidates because there were so many people who wanted to interview for the channel. So I did a challenge. I had started a new channel, Code from Scratch, where I am teaching DSA regularly, where I'm posting videos from scratch. I'm teaching like basic topics. I'm helping clear doubts. I'm covering multiple topics one by one, and I am teaching to beginners. So I wanted to interview these people, give them a chance. So I did a challenge of 30 days. I had posted it on this channel as well as over there. I posted it on stories that whoever turns up every single day, so everyone marks their attendance in the comments, I gave them chance to interview with me. I interviewed a few people, but obviously not everyone is confident enough to show up on the channel to interview for the channel because it takes a lot of guts. So many YouTubers are there whom I have interviewed who teach on YouTube are not comfortable putting up their interview as a candidate on YouTube. So that is why there was actually some gap because I was figuring out that how this works. But now I'm going to be interviewing a lot of you, a lot of my subscribers, especially of the Code from Scratch channel, because there I'm teaching beginners and I want to give beginners the chance to come and interview so that the beginners can also watch videos and understand it. Okay, these are the kind of mistakes that beginners do and what not to do. So today with us we have 𝐵𝐵𝐵𝐵. This guy kept mailing me and I absolutely loved his attitude. I think you will see it for yourself. But before we start the interview, let me quickly tell you about the sponsor of the video. If you're from non-CS background or if you're just starting out and you're worried that you might not get a job, then here's a great idea for you. So Coding Invaders have full stack developer program of 8 months and they give 100% job guarantee and they actually have 93% results. So 93% people who have enrolled with them have always got job and rest 7% people actually got their money back. They also have one-on-one calls with personal mentors, live sessions on weekends, and they will also help you build your CV and LinkedIn profile. They also have mock interviews and so many other things. Check out the link in the description. You can use the code Keerti30 and get 30% discount as well. Do check it out. This might just be the thing that you're looking for. So, 𝐵𝐵𝐵𝐵, this is your question. You're given a 2D matrix. Okay?
Okay.
And each row is sorted from left to right.
Okay.
Okay, and the first integer of each row is greater than the last integer of the previous row.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, and you're given a target value. You have to find whether the target exists in the 2D matrix or not. So suppose this is your 2D matrix. You
Okay.
can see that here 10 is less than 7, 20 is less than 23. So basically your matrix looks like this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So row is also sorted and the first element in this row is greater than the last element in the previous row. Now you are given a target value. Say you're given 3. So you know that 3 exists. Or suppose say you're given 15. You will say that okay, 15 doesn't exist. So you have to return false.
Okay.
You have to return a Boolean value.
Okay. True, false. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
How will you approach the question?
So, as these numbers are sorted, so row wise as well as column wise also, because the last element in the row is actually lesser than the next row first element. So we can use binary search to find the number which we are trying to find. So every time we have to reduce the space to look up so that we can end up finding the element that we have to find.
Right.
So let's say we have to find key, which is 16 maybe. So as this is a two-dimensional array, so we have, I think, ij numbers to identify a number. So so what we can do is, as we know that So first of all, we can try to find the number in the first column of all the rows. And then, because as these numbers are also sorted like 1, 10, 23, we can use binary search to find the number closer to 16 maybe. And then if we find one which is less than 16, so we can put this row index into our variable. Let's say row is 0. Then we come to the next row. 10 is also less than 16, so we can do row equal to 1, because this can be possible thing. And then 23 is greater, so we are sure that it won't exist in this row, so we check in this row whether the number exists, and then we can use again the binary search to figure this out. Also, we can use the binary search to figure out in the rows also actually. So if you know there are 3 rows, we can do mid and then check that row. So mid row, you can check this, which is 10. This can be possible because 16 is actually, so 10 is less than 16, so this can be possible thing. And we try to maybe find the number in that row using again the binary search.
Okay. So you said you were going to apply binary search 2 times.
Yes.
Okay. So first you're doing binary search over rows and then over one row is what you said, right?
Yes.
Okay. So initially you had said that you are looking for a row where the value is closer to 16. What do you mean by closer to 16?
So for 1 is also less than 16, 10 is also less than 16, but 23 is not less than 16, it's greater than 16. So out of these two, we have to find the maximum thing. That
Okay.
is
First thing, see, when you say closer, it could be like 23 could be closer to say 18, but 18 is like far from 10. Like closer, what do you mean by closer? I am
So you-
basically trying to confuse you over here, so you have to clearly tell me what you're doing.
so you're saying that if there is 18, right?
So when you say closer, are you taking absolute difference from the first?
No, we have to find the maximum of the value which is less than that element. So in case of 16, there are 2 values which are less than 16, which is 1 and 10. We have to take the maximum, something like that.
Okay, in binary search, there are 2 endpoints between which you are doing binary search, right?
Yeah.
So when you are doing binary search over rows, how are you going to do? Can you just quickly tell me?
Amongst the rows, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we know the left and right. So left will be 0, left will be 0, and right will be columns. So columns. No. How many rows are there? So total rows.
Okay.
Right. If we can take it as index, then -1. And we calculate the mid.
Why are you calculating like this and not by L plus R by 2?
Because L plus R can lead to value greater than the integer. When integer, how many bits are there, right? To the 2 power 32. It can go beyond the range of integer numbers.
Okay. And why will it not go beyond the range in this?
Because we are subtracting, right? So even if the 2 numbers are closer to the biggest number, it will be less than. So if we take right as maximum, and then the left, let's say, is 0. The let's say left is 3. Then if we do R plus L, it will go beyond max, right? But if we do R minus L, it will come in the range.
Awesome. Great. So now what you're going to do?
So we compare the we compare the mid 0 because column will be 0, and so mid 0 will compare with the k value which we are finding, right? So k is here. Okay. So we see if that number is less than k, then we put that maybe row number variable which is mid here, right? If the value is not less than k, it's actually let's say greater than k. Even if it is equal also we have to put, but in case if it is greater than k, then and we have to shift the space, right? The search space also. Yeah. In this case, now we in this case we have to search ahead, right? So we have to shift the left mid plus 1.
Let me give you a hint over here, Basanraj.
Okay.
So here you are considering a 2D matrix. So you don't just have the first value in a row, you also have the last value.
Okay. So we can check in the range if that element exists in that range or not.
I did not even tell you anything. This is something you could have thought yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Now, how does your code change? Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. Okay. So what we have to do is we have to check if the k exists in that range. So we have fixed one row, then we have to check for the column. So this can be the last column. Okay, so k is less than equal to this one. So basically the k exists in that row, we can say. Then what we can do is we have to reapply the binary search here. So in this case we have to just use the b search on that 1D array, right? So this will give you the 1D array. So here are mid.
Correct. Also, the two conditions that you have written. So is that OR condition, AND condition, XOR? What is it?
This is range AND.
You should mention it. Yeah. Now what happens?
Okay, so now if the k is not in the range, then we have to see whether we have to look for in the left, on the top or on the bottom of the matrix.
Correct.
So we have to see if the number is greater than the last element, which is this one, because we know this is sorted. And the next row element is actually greater than the previous row last column, so that is also sorted. So if this is the case, then the mid column one, that means this one is can say it like this. K is greater than that element, then we have to look for the below that row, so we have to shift the row basically we have to move the left to mid plus 1. So
Right.
now it will search in the bottom space.
Right. So for the other beginners who are watching the video, the here left and right essentially means top and bottom. So L means your top row that you're considering and R means the bottom row that you're considering. So here Basavraj is moving his top row. Correct.
Yeah.
Move on. Yeah.
So in the other case, we have to check for the first element in that row, which is 0 here. And then we have to see if that element is less than k. That means we have to search in the top space. So we have to shift the right side to mid minus 1. Now this will search in the top space.
Okay. I want you to quickly dry run this. There is one mistake over here. I want you to dry run and find it out yourself.
Okay. Let me just go through the code once again. If I am missing any edge cases or the basic cases, then we can do the dry run quickly.
Sure. Yeah.
L is 0, R is rows minus 1 is fine. L plus R minus L by 2, which is mid, we check. The first element and the last element is mid last column. Yeah. If the k exists, the k is k is less than equal to it can be equal, right? The first element can also be equal the last element. Okay. Then we do the B search in that row, right? If the k is greater than the mid and last column, it won't be equal because we already checked it. It has to be greater than that. Then we have to look in the bottom space. Otherwise, mid 0 less than k, we have to search in the top space. Okay, let's do the dry run. So we have to find, let's say 16. L will be 0, R is 0, 1, 2, which is R is 0, 1, 2, 2 minus 1, 1. Mid will be 0
1
plus
second.
1.
R is what? R is 1. How?
Because rows, we are taking 1, 2, 3. 3 minus 1, 2. Yeah, sorry.
Relax, don't be so scared. Yeah.
So the mid will be 0 plus 2 by 2, which is 1.
0 plus 2 by 2. Okay.
Yeah. So 1, that means we are considering this row. Then we are checking if k exists in this range, which is 16. Yes, it exists. So we do the binary search in this thing and we find out that there exists the value. So this case works. Let's do the another number. Let's say we try to find 30. Okay, so same thing, mid is 1, which is this row. Then we check if the k exists in this range, 10, 20, 30 is greater. It doesn't exist in this range. So we move ahead. We see k is greater than this 20, which is the last element in the mid row. Yes, it is greater. So we move the left to the mid plus 1. So now the left is moved to mid plus 1. So mid is 1. Mid plus 1 is 2. Okay, so again the mid will be recalculated. 2 plus 2, 4 by 2 is 2. That means now we have to consider this row, and 30 is there in this range. So we do the search and then find it out. Okay.
There is no mistake. I had I read it wrong. I realized it then, but then I wanted you to do the 𝐼𝐻𝐿 also, so I let you do it.
Okay.
So this is correct. Now finish. Now write this into a proper code. Which language do you code in?
I use Java.
Okay. So
Okay.
can you quickly convert this to Go?
Yeah. So yeah, I'll just put the if. L is 0, R is rows minus 1. So we can calculate the rows, right?
Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about all those. Yeah. I have a follow-up question now.
Okay.
So in the question that was given to us, it was given that the first value of the row is greater than the previous value of the last previous value of the row, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So this was given like 10 is greater than 7, right? So now suppose that was not given to you.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let me paste up another example. Okay. So suppose this is your example, and here you can see that the next row is not smaller. The next row is not bigger.
Okay. So 15 and 2. Okay.
Yes. So
But
now
then they are sorted like this.
yeah.
They are sorted like this. They are sorted like this. And they are sorted like in the top level also. 1, 2, 3, 10, 18, 4, 5, 6, 13, 21. Okay.
Correct. So now, is there any change in your code? If yes, what is the change?
Actually, Keerti, I know this solution because I saw this problem. So
Okay.
what we usually do is we search it from this space, the first row, last column, and then we look for. So if you see here, the number which is in the left side, 11, is actually lesser than 15, and the number which is below 15, which is 19, is actually greater than 19. So I'll just quickly try run to find some value, let's say 16.
Okay, 1 second. Before doing that, I understood what you're saying. But
Okay.
I want you to talk about, will your code work for this or not?
Okay.
Will it work? If it won't work, why will it not work?
Okay, sure.
You must have seen the solution, but I want to see your thought process.
Sure. So you mean this is the input and we have to run it with this output, right? I mean with this code.
Correct.
Will this work? Okay. It won't work because what we have assumed is this number is actually, so this number should be greater than this number. because what we have assumed when we were searching the spaces, when we were dividing the spaces, right? I mean, dividing as in like we actually take the entire space and do some conditional check, and then we figure out whether we have to go to the left or to the right. So that way we actually divide the search space in half every time, so that the complexity of time complexity reduces to log n. So that won't work because we don't have that you can say the input is not given in that condition, right? So we have to get this number greater than the last element in the previous row, then only we can skip the upper part and then find it out in the lower part or the other way around.
Can you quickly dry run it and see?
Yep, sure. So let's say we find 16. L will be 0 rows, so there will be 1 2 3 4 5. So there are 5 rows. Left is 0. Yeah. So mid we will calculate this 5 by 2, which will be 2. So we take this row in consideration. Just highlight it. Then we see if the number lies in this range. So 16 lies in this range. Let's not take 16 because we'll find it. Let's try to find 12. Okay, yeah. So 12. The 12 lies in the range because this is sorted and we have checked 3 and 22. 12 lies in between 3 and 22. So yeah, we search it and then the binary search returns false because there is no element, but there exists 12. So this will fail. Let's take one more example. Let's try to find 24 maybe. Yeah, so in this range 3 and 22, 24 does not exist. So what this code will do is it will check whether the number is greater than the last column, which is 22. Yes, it is greater than 22. 24 is greater than 22, so it will try to find in these two arrays.
Okay.
And so the left will be here, which is 0 1 2 3. So and then right will be as it is. Mid will be recalculated. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 by 2 is 4. Then the fourth thing 0 1 2 3 4. So it will try to find it out in this space. And the 24 doesn't exist here, so it will still fail because 24 exists in the upper row. Because 20, yeah, so it won't work.
Okay. Is there any changes that you can make to the code, which like this code itself, which will make it work?
Okay, let me think. So if we find the mid, how can we split the space? Like we have to go ahead or we have to go backward? Because we are not sure that all the elements behind 3 are less than 3, or all the elements after 22 are greater than 22, right? So I don't think we can fit in this code.
Got it. Okay. One way, just for our audience. So one thing that people do on lead code in this case is that they end up putting one for loop on the top and then do binary search in each row. That is one way to go about it, obviously, but not the right solution. So, Asvraj, what was the solution that you were talking about?
Yeah, so what I am talking about is, we pick the first row last element, which is 15. So if you see this number is actually, let me just put the battery on the laptop. Battery is getting low.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, I'm back. So if we take the number 15, which is the first row last element, the interesting point about this number is if you see the element on the left side is less than 15 and the element below 15 is greater than 19. Right, so let's try run for 24. We are at this place, so we check whether the number 15 is and we compare with for 24, so 24 is greater, right? So we have to go below because if you see 19 it's greater, if 11 so basically the logic is if the numbers are not matching, so we compare k with this number. If the numbers are not matching, we see if the number is greater, then we go below. If the number is less, we go to the left. So if
Right.
I
So
pick,
suppose the number that I'm searching for is say 14, right?
okay,
Can you search now?
yeah,
Can you try it? Yeah.
okay. So we compare with 15. Then what happens is so 14 is less, so we go to this place. So I'll just unfold. So we compare with this number. This number is actually, so 14 is greater now, so we have to go below. Okay, so we go to this place. I will unfold this. So we are right here. Again 14, so we have to go below because 12 is actually less, so we have to go below, which is this. Again 16, 14, right? So the number is less, so we have to go to the left. So I will bold this, unbold this. 9 is actually 14, right? So 14 is greater, so we have to go below. So 13 will be, we have to find the,
No, below 9 is 14. It doesn't look like that. 3, 6, 9, 10.
yeah. Sorry, yeah. Then we find the number and then we stop.
Awesome. I have another question. So you are starting from top right corner. Can you
Right.
start from any other corner? Can you start from bottom leftmost corner?
Yeah, because the same thing will happen, right? So we have to find a way to figure out whether we have to go on top or to the right if you're starting from here. So if you see all,
Can you start from like top leftmost corner? Start from there and tell me.
top leftmost here,
Yeah.
from this place, I think we can't figure it out because if you see 4 is also greater than 1, 2 is also greater than 1, so we can't decide. Let's say 14 is greater than 1, we can't decide whether we have to go to the right or to the below.
Okay. Can you start from the bottom rightmost 30?
The same thing happens, right? So if you see 24, 26, so both numbers are less than 30, so we can't actually decide whether we have to go on the top or to the left. So these two numbers we can surely figure it out.
Okay. Can you write the code when you start from 18? And then we will try run it.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So we have to we will have to start from 18, right, which is the last row.
You can say there are n rows and m columns, so it will make it easy for you.
Okay, n rows, m columns. Okay.
Yeah.
So we take the last row, which is n, and the first thing is 0.
Last row will be n. Basaras, don't do such silly mistakes. There are n rows. So last row will be what?
N minus 1. Yeah, and 0. So we compare with our k value. So if you see here, if the k is greater than this number, then we Okay. Yeah. So if this number is greater than 18, then we have to shift to the right. So we need some variables I and j. Okay. And this is I. So we have to put n minus 1, and j will be 0. So if this is the case, then we have to increase the j value by 1. Otherwise, first thing first, obviously we have to find if the numbers match. Equal to k, then we return true.
Right.
And, the only condition left is the place where we have to decrease the value by 1, right? So in that way we go above, right, I mean in the upper row, and here we will go in the right side column, right? Yeah. And we have to do it until while loop. And once we return true, will always break the loop. So yeah, we have to see we don't go out of bounds. So I should be less than n, because we are decrementing, so it has to be greater than or equal to 0, and the j value we are incrementing, so should be less than columns m.
Awesome. So you don't need to put the other two checks because we are never going in that direction.
Yeah.
Awesome. What is the time complexity?
So in the worst case, we end up traveling everything, right? So it will be order of n.
N is your rows, M is your columns.
Yeah, okay, sorry. So we end up traversing everything. If we have to find the, let's say 18, and we start from 15, so what will happen is we'll end up traversing 14. We won't end up traversing everything.
If we were traversing everything,
Then it
then
will be
we
n
would
into
just
m.
do.
Yeah.
Then we would have just done linear search, no? Why are
Yeah.
you doing all this?
Yeah. So every time we are skipping either that row or every time we're skipping the row, right? And also we actually traverse like this also within the row.
Okay, let me help you out over here.
Okay.
So you're either going in, like, if you're starting from bottom left corner, you're either going right or top, right?
Yes.
So maximum you can go right how many times? M times. And
Right.
maximum top you can go how many times? N times.
Yeah.
So it will be
So
order of
max of mn.
how
n
max
comma
of Mn? It can be, say it can be like you go from 18 to 21, then to 13, then to 14, then to 16, then to 22, then to 19, then to 15. That is not max of Mn.
Okay. Max of m plus n. M plus n also won't make, because traversing like
Sorry, what? M plus N, what are you saying?
I'm thinking m plus n.
Hmm.
So here there will be 5, 5, 25. So 5 plus 5, 10. Okay. So can we do 10 iterations to find the maximum iterations to
See what
go
is
for?
okay. Show me what will be the worst iteration in this case. Like, uh, okay, in this example, just
Mm-hmm.
tell me what will take the maximum amount of time. What will be the path that will take maximum amount of time? If you start from 18,
Okay, so it'll traverse like this first, and then
hmm.
maybe traverse 30, 24, 22, 19, 15
So that is what.
is the worst case.
So no. So that is order of like
M
that
plus
is
n.
what that is n plus n. Now, even if you were going in zigzag manner, suppose you were going from 18 to 21, then
Mm-hmm.
to 13, then to 14, then to 16, then to 22, then to 19, then to 15, even then it is m plus n.
Okay,
Why?
okay.
Because in right, you're going m times. Top, how many times are you going?
Oh,
M
okay,
times.
okay. Yeah, got it. Yeah,
So, what is the time complexity?
order of m plus n.
Yes. Okay. So, I need to teach time complexity more. Okay. Got it. Great job, Basavraj. Let's get to the feedback part now.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, how was your experience? First, you let me know that did you enjoy during the interview? Any
Yeah,
feedback for me?
I mean, I really enjoyed it. And the problem is actually nice, and you actually helped me a lot in between. And the tricky part where I was also not sure when you checked and asked me to check if it is if it is breaking or not. Then I was confident that it should work, but that was the good trickiest part.
Initially, you were not checking the entire row, like you were not using the last column wala point. So that was one thing. But other than that, I think you did great. I liked your honesty that you clearly told me that you had already seen the solution. Because anyway, it would have been clear to me that, oh, and once the guy is telling in the interview that, okay, you have done this. But that is the expectation. You obviously come prepared to the interview.
Yeah.
And since we have done only a few topics on CFS, so we knew, and then I guess you must have practiced binary search questions, right?
Yes, I am practicing continuously.
Okay. How has your experience with CFS been so far? Did it help you during this interview round?
Yeah, it actually helped me a lot actually. So it actually got motivated me to start preparing for top class companies. So that motivation and the path is also provided. So sometimes you get motivated to see, hey, there is Keerti who is placed in so many companies, but then she is also teaching, posting every day. She is doing so much, and we just have to practice 2 3 problems every day. I think we can do it, and if we can do it, then I guess someday we will reach at least some good companies, not the best of the best, but at least good companies to work for.
Why not best of the best? You will reach best of the best. It is just matter of time and practice.
Yeah, with your support, I think we could reach that place. But it's actually very great initiative. Actually, uh, will tell you honestly, you must have seen all the honesty throughout this interview process. But I've seen so many YouTubers teaching similar data structures and problems. So everyone is doing great. Let me tell you that they are doing great at their part. But I somehow like your way of teaching, and I personally like it, and it really motivates me to follow you every day.
Everyone has a type, I think.
Yeah,
I am sure like someone else's video someone else likes more,
yeah,
but when people tell me that why already there are so many DSA like videos, why are you creating the same thing again, I guess this is the reason. I hope Basar Raj's answers the question. So yep. And I would really like to appreciate your patience and your dedication towards doing this interview. So let me tell people. So I had put it up on, I think, both the channels that I'm going to be taking interviews of my subscribers now, those who have been following regularly on CFS, I noticed the dedication with which he messaged me. I have interviewed 4 5 subscribers before this, and none of them performed well enough, or they weren't confident enough to put up the video on the YouTube channel. So, Basavraj, you are actually the first subscriber. You are the first non-YouTuber who has come on this channel. So, thank you so much for having, the positive attitude towards this entire experience. And he was very confident also. Initially, I gave a tougher question. He was like, okay, I will try as much as I can do it. So, I really like his attitude, and I highly, highly recommend that, you guys also do the same. What is the worst that will happen if you fail, or if you're not able to do well enough? So think in that manner, and I will obviously recommend Basavraj. I'll tag him on LinkedIn and all also. So this gives him an opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Similarly, you guys also have the opportunity. Just you have to grab it and you have to show up, right?
Yeah.
So
Keerti, if
Uh,
you would let me, I just have to add a few points.
sure, yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Keerti, for letting me be part of this interview, because I was not sure, because you are so popular in YouTube, and I actually did not think of getting reply from you, because I mean, I send messages to so many good folks whom I follow, but I hardly receive any replies. So I was just but I did not stop stop the process of sending messages to
Yeah.
the person who who you want to be, or whom you want to follow. But you're the first one who actually replied, and then we actually got into so many rescheduling, but finally we did. I hope I did well enough.
Yeah. It was a great interview, I'm sure, for beginners, especially. They'll get to learn a lot from this. To be honest, there are a lot of times where I also am not able to reply to a lot of people. And it happens with everyone because, the number of people has just grown. It is just not humanly possible to reply to everyone. But I noticed that you were so persistent. You kept mailing, messaging me. And the first few people whom I asked to interview for the CFS channel were all, those who regularly commented. I did a sort of challenge that everyone who comments like regularly 30 days. Then I noticed who are regular, who are sincere also, who are commenting, who are messaging, who are genuinely interested. So if you're genuinely interested,
Yeah.
you will definitely get it. When I was beginning YouTube, I also, was looking for such opportunities. If you see, I have done an interview with Clement. He was a huge YouTuber then, and I had like hardly 5 6,000 subscribers. This is what I also did. I
Okay.
kept messaging him. So this is what works for everyone. There's equal opportunity for everyone out there. It is just that how well or how much
Okay.
you want to grab it. So that's
Yeah. I hope I get to meet you again soon. Uh, yeah,
definitely.
and at least you'll reply again
Thank
if
you
I
so
mail
much.
you. Now I'll be in some different list of
Definitely.
mailbox, maybe somewhere. But thank you so much.
No. Thank you so much for coming and doing this. See you. Bye.
Good night.